request everyone to mute yourself. If you have any question, please put it in the chat box. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. Now, I would like to welcome our president, Mr. Nilesh Lele sir, to give a brief overview of today's session and also introduce today's speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Diksha. And welcome everybody for today's session hosted by the Chamber for Advancement of Small and Medium Businesses. A special welcome to our today's speaker and guest, CA Tejas Padhe sir. Before I introduce today's speaker and hand it over to him, I take this opportunity to talk a little bit about the chamber, the background, what are some of the activities that we have been doing. It's a recently founded chamber. We founded in December 2020 and officially launched on 1st March 2021. We are based out of BKC in Bandra in Mumbai, and further details can obviously be found on our website at casmb.org.in. We are very much active in all our social media sites, and in case you have missed any of our earlier webinars, they are available on our YouTube channel at CSMB India on youtube.com. We have had close to 25 such webinars across different themes, and we have had more than 660 subscribers in less than 2 months. So if you have missed any of our sessions, feel free to watch them again on our YouTube channel. So this chamber was formed with a mission to work very closely with all stakeholders for advancement of micro, small and medium businesses. We carry a vision to make MSMEs all the more resilient and make them a stronger backbone of Indian economy. As we all know, MSME or micro, small, medium enterprises contributes 30% to India's GDP and almost 48% to the manufacturing exports that India does. MSMEs also employ more than 11 crore people, and hence it's called the backbone of our country. On December 28, 2020, Honorable Minister for MSME, Shri Nitinji Gadkari, has given us a target and shown us a further vision that we should increase our contribution to the GDP from 30% to 40% and to the manufacturing exports from 48% to 60%. MSME is also expected to add another 5 crore jobs in next 5 years. So with these words of our minister, as well as similar vision in mind, few like-minded people came together and formed this chamber at the height of pandemic COVID-19 with a single target in mind to empower the MSME entrepreneurs to achieve the next level of success. We are trying to work extensively, as the name suggests, for advancement of growth of MSMEs. We are trying to represent MSMEs in various forums. We are trying to empower farmers to become entrepreneurs. They should start thinking, start doing their business as entrepreneurs. And today's session is one such session where finance, which is many a times not understood or neglected by entrepreneurs, they should also have strong background in finance, especially cash flow management. We all know a lot of good work in academics as well as research areas happening. A lot of government schemes are out there. We keep hearing about Atmanirbhar Bharat, PLI scheme, PMFME scheme, and so many other schemes. So many different policies that government has introduced, right from Samadhan portal to GEMS portal. So the idea is to be a single point of contact where for an SME entrepreneur, they can come here and get connected to all various stakeholders, which will help them grow even more. We are helping SMEs develop different products that can actually cater to global markets. Through webinars such as these, we are providing training and development and ensuring capacity building in the SMEs or MSMEs. We plan to conduct different study tours, help our members participate in exhibitions, come up with strategic tie-ups. Like we are already in talks with some Taiwanese group where certain tie-ups can happen. In fact, shortly on this platform, we will have overseas partners come in where most likely we have a German company who will be presenting themselves on this platform, as well as US based company. So the idea is to give exposure to our MSME members. We have been very fortunate that in less than 2 months of existence, we have a very strong advisory board as well as a strong management team, which brings vast experience in the field of food, finance, sales, marketing. We are already in 3 states, having footprints in Maharashtra, Gujarat, as well as Goa. We are in talks with us incubation center in Indore. So shortly we'll have presence in MP as well. I believe Mr. Prashant Naigaonkar as well as Dr. Prakash Kondekar are on this call as well. So welcome, sir, and thank you as always for your support. In this webinar series that we conducted in March as well as in May, we took a break in April for launching and working on 4 other schemes, which again I'll talk about shortly. But through this webinar series, we have tried to conduct different topics which are relevant and important for any startup or an MSME entrepreneur. On Mondays, we have been fortunate to have various successful entrepreneurs talk on this forum about their success stories. In fact, this Monday we had Mr. Akalpit Prabhune, a good friend, who is the founder of Rhythm Winery, which is into fruit wines. And all the other earlier lectures or webinars can also be seen on our YouTube channel. On Tuesdays, we have been fortunate to have experts from NIFTEM, Institute of Chemical Technology, BARC, and various different agri universities as well as food universities who have come on this platform, spoke about their technologies. On this Tuesday, we had Dr. Shivendu Ranjan from South Africa, where he had worked on nano spinning and how it can have applications in nutraceutical and food, and how that technology is also available for transfer. On Wednesdays, we run a weekly knowledge forum. Yesterday, we heard about all the different opportunities in Northeast, the Seven Sisters, and so many things happening, right from Mega Food Park to so many different produce that is happening there. On Thursdays, we have been conducting topics related to finance. Last week, we heard about the Spurti scheme. We have heard from schemes under the Ministry of Food Processing. I'm also trying to bring someone who can speak on the performance link incentive schemes for food processing that has been launched, and the guidance document has come out. So we're trying to bring someone from the ministry to talk about that on this platform. We have had more than 25 webinars. All of them are uploaded on YouTube. We have had live attendance of more than 2,000 people across these 25 webinars, and more than 2,000 views on YouTube as well. And as we speak, I think we have around 670 subscribers to our YouTube channel, which is CASMB India. In the month of April, post our webinar series in March, we realized that there are certain other help that a startup entrepreneur needs. Because he's a one-man show, many times there's nobody to talk to or nobody who can provide different help to him. So that's where we launched the Startup Buddy program. And the idea is to help either at a nominal cost or even free, where we have tried to map them to different service providers, right from chartered accountants, company secretary, product development experts, where they are able to mentor these startups as well as SME founders. We have also launched the Chamber Investor Network and have received more than 20 pitches, and some of them are in advanced stages with regards to getting funded. So these were the 2 programs that we had launched in the month of April. We worked a lot and have seen good success in those initiatives. We also have a chamber member meet every month, where our members can meet with each other, network with each other, and actually transact business within the chamber member itself. 2 other initiatives which we launched in April and hopefully will see some fruit or will actually happen in the month of May or June is a buyer seller meet for food industry, which we are working on it. And in the month of May, we will definitely have a buyer seller meet where buyers from different modern retails, the category managers, as well as distributors and exporters will interact with the sellers of food products or food related things. And the 4th initiative we launched was the industry defined problem, something similar to the likes of Smart India Hackathon, where we asked industry to submit their challenges that they're facing, and through student competition we have ask for different solutions to these challenges that the industry faces. We also have a special women's cell where we believe that we need more and more women entrepreneur in the whole ecosystem, and it's being headed by Miss Arpita. And most likely on next Monday, we are going to bring a woman entrepreneur talk about her success story across India. In fact, she has a chain of Maharashtrian restaurants across India. So she'll most likely be here on next Monday to talk about her success story. Certain other initiatives, events that are being held by us as well as by our partners, associations. Like today, we have partner associations, AFST Mumbai chapter, All India Food Processors Association, NetProfan, as well as Entra2. So as a member, obviously, you can attend our events at a subsidized or a free without any fees, as well as all our partner events can also, you can avail discount for any of our partner events. And last but not the least, our chamber office in Mumbai at BKC is available for our chamber members in case they want to use it for their team meetings or for any client meetings. Like I said, we through last couple of months, we have had more than 250 food startups part of our ecosystem of the Startup Buddy. We also manage a lot of startup groups on WhatsApp, where I think we have around 10 groups right now, where all different stakeholders, right from regulators to people from ministries, as well as startups, certain mentors, all of them are part of this ecosystem, and a lot of interaction, a lot of help actually happens through the WhatsApp group as well. Like I said, more than 20 startups have pitched their ideas, and some of them are in advanced stages of getting funded. The buyer seller meet, more details will be shared with you as soon as we formalize everything, and we plan to have it in the month of May itself. And technology transfer has also been another big success, where certain startups are already in advanced stages with one such technology that was presented by an entrepreneur in Mumbai, where he works on dehydration on at room temperature, that too at a very minimal amount of time. So within 4 hours room temperature, a lot of things can actually be dehydrated. So some of these things are actually happening, and business is actually happening. Technologies are getting transferred, startups are getting funded. So we are trying to make an impact, not just be a chamber just for the name of it, but actually show results on the ground. We have tried to keep our membership fees very low, and based on the categorization of micro, small, medium enterprises, the as small as for the micro industry with a turnover up to 5 CR, the membership is as low as 2,500 rupees per year. So if anybody has any more questions and wants to know more about chamber or want to become a member, feel free to contact me. This is my number as well as my email address, or you can contact Diksha, Prajakta, or any of the names you saw in the advisory board team or management team, in case you want to know more or become a member. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I take this opportunity to introduce as well as welcome our guest for today. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So today we have our finance facilitation topic, and we are very fortunate to have a chartered accountant on our platform, where Tejas Vinayak Padde sir. He is a chartered accountant with 21 years of experience. He has worked in various traditional areas of practice such as audit and taxation, and has handled audits for many companies, partnership firms, and small businesses as well. In the area of taxation, he has handled all the areas including income tax, VAT, service tax, and now conducted various seminars on GST. Just 1 second, I see some disturbance. Yeah. Having been closely working with many MSME entrepreneurs, he has been a partner in their growth as a consultant. He has also acted as faculty for more than 6 years at various forums which are in the field of entrepreneurship development, and delivered various sessions on understanding balance sheet, finance strategies, origination structure for beginners, and many others. He has written articles on various subjects such as business segmentation, business expansion, etc., and other non-business articles as well. Presently proprietor of TV Padya and Company Chartered Accountants, a CA firm for last 21 years. He's also an advisor of Financial Catalyst, a full-fledged finance consultancy business. Welcome, sir. I hand it over to you. You can share screen and please enlighten our people here. Thank you.
Hope the slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, great. Chalo. So first of all, congratulations on all the activities you're conducting, you're performing. I'm really happy with the things which you're actually doing for MSME, because MSME is the backbone of India. I'll not go into much of statistics, but MSME employs the highest number of people in their sector, organized, unorganized, or whatever. But maximum number of employment is generated by micro, small, and medium enterprises. So that is the real contribution. With this note, I will start my session. The presentation is based on my knowledge and experience to date, and opinions about the subject may differ from person to person. So you might get some different opinions. The presentation is solely for knowledge sharing. So don't form any opinion just out of this. There are certain facts probably which we really need to look at. I'm presently working on the most important pinpoint of MSME entrepreneurs, that is cash flow management, and that is why I accepted this invite. People who are Maharashtrians or Marathi, who understand Marathi, we have first series in Marathi about cash flow. It's a complete series. There's a with CFO YouTube channel, because I act as a CFO in many small entrepreneurs. So complete Marathi series is there, and you can just watch it, and probably you will get most of your answers over there. So there are some classic quotes about cash flow which I'd like to share before we start our session. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash is king. This is a very famous quote. Richard Branson, you might be knowing him. He is a head of Virgin company, group of companies, 350 plus companies. Never take your eyes off cash flow, because that is lifeblood of business. Now, Jack Welch, the person who took GE from probably, I don't know, it was the number, but he was, when he left, he was in number 3 or top 3 in many of the businesses. If I had to run a company on 3 majors, the majors would be customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and cash flow. And money often costs too much. Ralph Waldo Emerson was a thinker and economist of America. So cash flow, what is cash flow challenge basically? So there are lots of perceptions. Entrepreneurs here, especially MSME, has got lots of perceptions about cash flow, and there is a difference in perception and facts. So I always believe that accountants should always work on these concepts, and management may consider these as an effective decision making tool. That is what should be ideal. So your accountant or your accounts person should actually work on accounts and management, and should provide you the reports, or try to help you to understand the facts behind your perceptions, and then you can make a decision. So let's look at this. It's going to be very crisp. I know this is very what you call as a very rude topic, very boring topic, to be very frank, but my all efforts will be to make it as simple as possible. Questions are welcome. You can post your questions in chat box. I don't know whether that facility is open, so I'll prefer if you can post your questions in chat box during my session, so that whenever it comes up, I'll answer those. So there are 3 columns you can see: real life questions or perceptions. These are the questions which generally come in your mind as an entrepreneur. What is the fact behind it? What is the reality behind it? And what action you should take, or you should think of it. So first, let's start with first question. We have just finished 31st March. We have in the verge of closing our accounts of previous year, and there is the standard question which we asked to our accountant or chartered accountant. And there is so much profit, so much tax, but where is my cash? You are telling me that there is so much of tax I have to pay. I have paid so much GST, but there is no bank balance. Now the fact is, profit and cash generated by business are different, and it needs to be reconciled. So in simple terms, if you really understand, if you make a profit of 100 rupees, and if the money is not realized, so you have made a profit of 100 rupees, you have to pay tax, but the still cash is still lying with your debtor, your customer. It is not coming in your books. So you will have 100 rupees profit. You will be paying 30 rupees tax, but you will be paying it out of your pocket, not from your own money, which is lying with customer. So what you should really do is focus more on cash flow. Profit must be monitored, but make it secondary for a limited period. Especially, I'm talking about lockdown. Profit should not be ignored. I'm not saying profit should be ignored. Profit is must, because otherwise survival is difficult. But in these days, try to focus more on cash flow. Try to take probably 20% advance, 30% advance, 50% advance, and start working on these things. People are understanding that everybody has a challenge, so you may not get full payment, but try to see that your money is not blocked, so that whatever money is coming to you, that will make you really good decision maker. No cash is no decision. If you don't have cash in your pocket, let me tell you very frankly, I've been monitoring MSMEs. You cannot make a decision. If you really want to make a good decision, you need to have cash in your pockets. So much profit per transaction. Why this cash crunch? Per transaction, you are making good profits. You are making multiple transactions. You're making multiple profits. But high margin does not mean good cash flow. Again, the extension of first perception and fact also, that profit and cash are different. So high margin does not necessarily mean that you are having good cash flow. You are making high margins, but your terms agreed with your customer are probably 90 days payment, 120 days payment, probably after somebody else completes the work. If there is a chain work, so one process will be completed by you, second process will be completed by somebody else, and then your payment will be released, or there's a retention clause, there is some verification clause. All these things really block your money. So you might have good margins, but try to focus or look at the terms and conditions of your contract initially before signing any agreement or before starting any work. Advance is the best thing you can do. Let's go to third one. Oh, I'm not able to meet my monthly personal expenses from business. This is a standard challenge nowadays, especially in lockdown, which we are facing. We are not able to make monthly personal expenses from business. Though we are making our business survive, we are very much struggling that our employees should not leave us, our premise should be on, our business should function, our customers should not go away from us. But still, our monthly personal expenses, our survival is also important. So the business is funding you or you are funding business. That is the most crucial thing. Many a times, if you really look at the end of the year or end of the period of 2 or 3 years, you'll understand that you have funded business. You have put in a lot of money in business, but the money has not come back to you. So try to reduce investment in business. Here you really need expert advice. So don't do it on your own, but also look at controlling costs. There are lots of costs which you can really control. So if you have a good big office, probably you can shift to a small office. If you have a setup in commercial complex, probably you can shift to some inner area where your rent is less. You can control many other things. You can tell people to work from home, and lots of things are there. Lots of possibilities are there which have emerged due to this lockdown. So there are opportunities in lockdown where you can really work, and try to find out some opportunities during this lockdown which will help you to keep your cash flow going on. Now third is, this is the most, and this is my most favorite question. uh, Entrepreneurs, I mean 30 participants are there, so excluding me there are 29 participants, and I heard that there will be people watching on YouTube also. You have to just guess this, that do I know how much cash I need on 17th November 2021? I given a specific date. There is no ambiguity in that. 17th November 2021. How many of you really know that how much cash you need on 17th November 2021? You don't know, because you don't know your monthly cash outflow. You should clearly know your monthly cash outflow. Prepare your cash flow projections. See, there are two types of projections. Generally, the project report which you make for bankers and everything, there is something called cash flow report also in that. Instead of looking at profit and loss and balance sheet, I will request everybody to look at cash flow projections, from where the cash is coming and where it is going. Prepare cash flow projections. This shall help you to look at other opportunities as well. I'll give you a classic example here. Yesterday or day before, I was having a meeting with one of my clients, and he is in seasonal business. So I understood that post Diwali, he generates good amount of cash. In Diwali, before Diwali, he invests his money, and post Diwali, he gets good amount of everybody rather. Post Diwali, everybody get good amount of cash. So that money is lying with him for 2 to 3 months unutilized. So then we worked on opportunities which can be used or which can be worked out in these 2 to 3 months, which can be used with this cash, what excess cash he has, where that money can be invested, whether new projects can be started in that, whether some new business venture can be started in that, whether some new venture can be funded out of that. So whether he can act as investor, whether he can start his own venture, if he was planning to start a branch, whether that branch can be started post Diwali with the money which comes in. So once you make your realistic projections, and most important is realistic projections, don't make projections which are, which we call as emotional projections. So probably I have a turnover of 1 CR today, so next year my turnover will be 2 CR. It's an emotional projection. All turnovers, all numbers are X into Y. X is your product and Y is your service. Or X is your product, Y is your price. X is your product and Y is your price. So X is product or service and Y is price. Now this multiplication will give you everything. So in case of expense also it is same thing. If it is rent, office premise, one office premise, 1 month multiplied by amount of rent is give you expense. 2 or 3 electricity meters multiplied by number of average pricing of the meter, or average billing of the meter will give you total electricity bill of your project. Similarly, if you have 10 products, each product price multiplied by number of sales price will give you your sales turnover. So try to make it as realistic as possible. If you don't make it realistic, let me tell you, you're not going to achieve it. I'm not against high targets. You should always have high targets. You can have a 99 crore target. I'm not using word 100 crore. So 99 crore or 101 crore target you can definitely have. But whether it is realistic, is it possible to achieve? And that achievement is possible only when you have X multiplied by Y. You have a defined product or service and you have defined value, what you can typically call as price of that product or service of that product. Next, money came in and money went out, but nothing is left. Typically, किधर से आया किधर गया कुछ पता नहीं चला. पैसा आता है पैसा जाता है. Money comes in and money goes out. So you have to understand your type of cash flow. Money comes in with 3 types: operating cash flow, investing cash flow, and financing cash flow. So you have to monitor source of inflow. I'll just tell you in simple terms, operating cash flow is the money which comes from operations. Typically the money which comes from customers and money which goes out in operations. So net money with you from operations is your operating cash flow. Investing is when you sell your investments, when you sell your assets, or when you buy your assets, and then there is some positive or negative aspect of it. Then that is your investing cash flow. And lending or your capital invested in business is financing cash flow. So if you don't monitor these on monthly basis, how much money you're generating from business, how much money you're generating from loans, or how much money you're generating from sale of investments, there is a possibility, there is a high possibility that people have liquidated their investments during lockdown for survival. So, and that money has been put in business. Of course, that is needed. I'm not against it, because that is right now, survival is the most important. So, but if you monitor, then you will be able to judge how much money has to be put back in your business or put back in your investment. Suppose if you have withdrawn 5 lakh rupees from your investments, it is part and parcel of your life goal or your business goal that 5 lakh should be invested back in your wherever it was brought from. Otherwise, your business, as we have seen, otherwise you will be funding your business. Business will not be funding you. You will keep pouring money in business and the money will go out. It is like a bucket with holes. You will put in money, the money will go out, and the bucket will never get filled. You will keep on pouring water in that, but that is not going to be useful. So free cash flow, we only know free offers in malls, free. Aajkal to mall band hai, malls are not working, but we typically know free means offer. Understand the concept of free cash flow in business. When operating cash flow is more than investing cash flow and financing cash flow, when your money from operations is very high, or you are getting good cash rich. Typically nowadays, grocery stores, medical shops, these people are minting good money. They are cash rich, so they have a free cash flow. So there are lots of people who have, you know, on rent they have borrowed godowns. Godown लेके वो business कर रहे हैं, especially grocery stores. I know in our area there is a grocery store. He's a friend of mine. He has taken a small godown on rent in our area just to store grocery, so that he doesn't have to invest every time in procurement of grocery. So now he has a free cash flow because he can, as I've said, if you have money, you can make decision. So he has money, he has made decision. Try to save every time. Whenever you have money, try to save it for future. Try to save it for business. It can be 1 rupee, it can be 100 rupee, it can be 10,000, 1 lakh, 5 lakh is immaterial. You should have a habit. Psychologically, you should have a habit of saving. You should train your brain to save. Next, why should I take salary? I am the owner of business. I pay salaries. No, I pay salaries very proud. But I have a very simple question. I think Ambanis and Tatas and Birlas are paying more salary than you, but they are also taking salary. Why they are taking salaries? Because they have separated their business from their own personal life. If you really want to segregate your business and your personal life, you have to take salary. So calculate exact salary to be drawn by the owner. As an owner, you should know how much salary. You can fix your salary, say 25,000, 30,000. If it is not possible for business today to pay high salary to you, take 10,000, take 5,000, but you must take some fixed amount on 1st or 2nd of every month. Fix your personal cash flow. Remember, business is only your only source of survival. We don't have multiple source of income. We are typically micro, small and medium enterprises. So we don't have multiple source of income. यहाँ भी पैसा invest किया है, वहाँ से पैसा आ रहा है, यहाँ पे properties में invest किया है, वहाँ पे rent आ रहा है, बहुत सारे shares है. I have got lot many shares. Money is coming as dividend. It is not happening. You are only source, prime source. I'm not saying secondary source. Prime source is business income. So business income is your only source of survival. So you have to focus on your own salary also, your own returns also from business. Next, cash flow statement. It's not applicable to small business. This is a standard reply which I get, that cash flow statement is not applicable to small enterprises. I mean, I don't know how this myth has come up, but it is a very surprising myth that cash flow statement is not applicable to small businesses. You go to a bank for a 5 lakh loan, bank will ask a project report and there is a cash flow statement in that. Cash flow statement, typically a project report contains balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement and DSR, that is DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, that is repayment schedule, and your working capital ratios. So it also contains cash flow. Anything, you go to anybody for a funding or finance, he will ask first question, how will you repay the money? And for that you have to make your cash flow. So it is not possible for you that you cannot make your cash flow. How small business yours is, size does not matter. Kitna bhi chota business hai, you have to make your cash flow. And why? Just make it once, you will get your answer. Just try to make your cash flow once. It's very simple. It's not difficult. As I have said, you have to write your total sources. You have to write your total expenses and monthly, and go on doing this, repeating for every month. Now you have to understand your business. So there are people who are in typically, fruit business. So this is a mango season. So probably you will have good cash flow. But in June, July, probably you have lower cash flow. Again in Diwali, you will have good cash flow. People who are in dry food items or Diwali Faral items, they will have good cash flow in Diwali season. Then chocolates, people will have a good season in probably Diwali also and New Year also. So accordingly, you have to make your cash inflow and your cash outflow. It's very simple. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. There is nothing in this world which an entrepreneur cannot understand. That is why he's an entrepreneur. Now next, my accountant or my CA knows my balance sheet and profit and loss. He will see that. So whenever we discuss about cash flows with our clients, so the typical answer which I get is मेरा chartered accountant सब दिखता है, उसके पास सब record है. He knows my balance sheet and profit. वो जो बनाता है वो हम लोग बैंक को दिखा देते हैं. You have to understand there is a relation between balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow. Ultimately, your chartered accountant is not answerable. I am a chartered accountant and I am making this statement on record. Your chartered accountant is not answerable for your business. You are answerable for your business. You can change a chartered accountant, but you cannot change the owner of the business unless otherwise there is a good investor, you got a good opportunity. But still, you will be responsible as decision maker. So ultimate decision maker is the person who is owner of the business. So understand the difference between management accounting and financial accounting. Typically, an accountant, the records which are submitted to income tax, to company law, or to GST, they are financial accounts. Management accounts is detailed, what we call as data, complete data of the business. So if you're saying my sales is 1 lakh, you have to understand there are 5 different products sold at different seasons at different prices, and that is how the 1 lakh rupees has been derived. So what is your best sold product? What is your worst sold product? What is the logistic cost? What is the employee cost? Who is the best performing employee? For financial accounting, it is just one employee cost, one salary for the year. But as a management accounting, you should know who is your performing employee, who is your non-performing employee, who is the best employee, who should be removed, who should be continued. All these things data come from your management accounting. So as a owner, as an entrepreneur, you should really look at management accounting instead of financial accounting. So design business MIs and make cash flow part of it. Last two questions and very interesting. Last one is quite regular, especially in COVID, but second last question I'll take up. Hello, what is my bank balance? I have to make some payments urgently. This is a typical scenario with MSMEs. सुबह किसी का phone आया जिसने पैसा मांगा. Somebody asked for money and then you will log into bank account. You will check the balance, or you will ask your accountant to check the bank balance. And then either if you have good money, you will issue the check, or else you will call the customers. This much money is pending. Please pay this. Please pay that. If there is some possibility of generating some personal funds, if you're kept in your personal saving account, you will transfer from saving account to your business account, and you will make that decision for the day, or you will make the day, but that is not the permanent solution. You should use your cash flow cycle for decision making. You should know how to use your cash flow cycle. Cash flow cycle is, if I invest rupee 1 on 1st of May, I should know when that 1 rupee comes back to me. If it comes back in 30 days, your cash flow cycle is 30 days. If it comes in 10 days, it is 10 days. If it comes in 60 days, especially people who are in manufacturing, they have got a long cash flow cycle. This is also called as working capital cycle in normal language. But working capital cycle से भी cash flow cycle अगर आप समझते हो तो आपको ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा. Understand your working capital cycle and try to manage it, try to control it. जितना आपका डेटर्स में पैसा अटका है उतना ही अगर आप क्रेडिटर्स को स्ट्रेच कर सकते हो, then that is a good decision making. If you are able to generate funding, there are lots of people I know who believe that I don't want funding from bank, I don't want loan from bank. That doesn't make sense. I'm not saying you should be burdened by loan, but you should have sufficient loan for your survival. मेरा पैसा कौन डुबाएगा? Who dares? This is a typical statement which is thrown to us as a chartered accountant. When we ask debtors list and when we ask, especially when we sit for finalization, okay, how many debtors are to be written off, this month is not received for last 2 years, and there's अरे वो नहीं डुबाएगा, वो पैसा दे देगा, वो आएगा पैसा आज नहीं तो कल. But what it makes sense, you have paid 30% tax on that for last 2 years and that cash is not received. Suppose that recovery of say 5 lakhs, so 5 lakhs if you write off, you will save 30%. 1.5 लाख तो आपने 2 साल में भर दिया, तो 3 लाख रुपया तो आपने टैक्स भर दिया उसमें. 3 lakhs and 5 lakhs is not come, so 5 lakhs का लॉस तो हो गया है कैश का, प्लस 3 लाख का टैक्स आपने एक्स्ट्रा भर दिया, so there is a double loss. So you should understand where your cash is blocked and what decision should be made. Can you settle that customer? Is it possible? आज जो कैश मिलता है वो अपना है. Whatever cash I get today is my cash. That is most important. Lots of questions are there, but I have typically picked up questions which are more important for post-lockdown action, which will help you to make decisions or to understand the basic concepts of cash flow. Because there are lots of entrepreneurs which I have seen in my life that basic concepts of cash flow are not very clear to them. they think or they have that perception that profit and cash flow are same. So if I'm making good profit, that means I'm making good cash flow. But that doesn't happen. Well, a problem well defined is half solved. So understanding of all these concepts will surely help you to really understand cash flow and take good decisions. Only way to build long-term business is good cash flow. Remember this statement. Samsung has a history of around probably 80 years, 70, 80 years. Now, there are lots of companies which are 100 plus years, 60 years, 70 years, 30 years, 40 years. All these companies have survived only because of good cash flow, not because of profit. There will be some stages in their business where they have made good losses. They have not made profit, but they had cash so that they can bounce back. So it is very important that you understand that profit is not only important, cash flow is also important, especially in COVID times. People have made losses in lockdown. Look at automobile industry. They are flourishing like anything before 2020. Now in last 2 years, they have made good amount of losses. Lots of businesses who have I'm not talking about MSMEs, I'm talking of giants. But they also have made good quantum of loss, good amount of loss. They have tried to control some cost by telling that I will tell people to work from home so that I don't need an office, so I can control that cost. So they are trying to balance it, but they have made losses. Still, they are able to survive because they have either cash or they have arrangement of cash, so that they can survive. They can take a decision. If you don't have cash for tomorrow, how will you take decision? Will you survive? It's not possible. So entrepreneurs just understand and implement cash flow concepts. All the best, and I really thank Chamber for advancement of small and medium this thing entrepreneurs for this opportunity to me. Questions are most welcome. This is my number, WhatsApp number. It is there also on my screen. If you have any questions, either you can post it to your chamber or through me on WhatsApp. You're most welcome. I'll be happy to answer because I'm also working on other forum where I specially help MSME entrepreneurs to help them in these kind of challenges. So thank you. I'll stop sharing now. And I will share this PDF PPT Nilesh sir with everybody.
Yes, yes.
So that it will be helpful for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, sir. It was very insightful. Anybody has any questions? If not, I have a couple of questions, but let's see if anybody else.
There's one question here. Is there any series in Hindi or English? Yes, there is a possibility because when we are searching for it for cash flow series in English, we've gone through some good series, got some good videos, but there was nothing in Marathi. So for Marathi entrepreneurs, we decided to post it in this thing in Marathi. So it is there. There are two things. One is budgeting and one is cash flow. Plus there are also small introductory videos. One video which I will recommend, not for my marketing, but this video I recommend everybody 6 common mistake of MSME entrepreneurs. So that is a video which I will recommend everybody. What 6 mistakes as a MSME entrepreneur you should not do. So that video I will request everybody. I also share link with Nilesh sir so that it reaches you. Yes.
So I think there is a question in chat box.
Yeah. So I'll just open the chat box.
Yes.
How do you prepare for investing in new business? How much capital would have to keep aside from personal expenses? There are two things. There are two questions or three questions in this. One question is hidden in this. How do you prepare for investing in business? First, as I said, that you have to make projections of your business. How much sale you're going to generate, how the money is going to come in, how the money is going to go out, how much you need. Ideally, you should have a 6-month contingency for your business, 6 months working capital, but that is too high. So 3 months working capital is what we recommend. 3 months working capital plus whatever capital expenditure you need for investment of business. That is ideal investment in any business. How much capital would you keep aside from personal expenses? Now, first you have to find out your personal expenses. What is your requirement of personal expenses? What is the source? If you have investor, then you have to convince him to provide you money. From personal expenses, whether if you are breaking your investments and bringing in the money in business, then it is difficult, because then you have to generate more returns than what the investments were giving. Suppose you have invested in a market which is giving you 12%, 15% return. Whether your business is going to give you 12, 15% more, then you should go for bank. So this question is very tricky question. How much capital would you have to keep aside from personal expenses? I think it is for personal expenses. So again, personal expenses, I personally recommend that you should have a 6 months personal capital balance or cash balance with you, so that any contingency comes, your survival is assured for next 6 months. Any short course for business accounts? A difficult question. I don't know whether it is there. It might be there. I generally don't address entrepreneurs only, so I have not anything. But there are lots of people who are conducting course for business accounts. So you can just, you know, good. How to calculate how much salary to be drawn by the owner? Very good question. All your expenses, your all your personal EMIs, your personal housing loan, your personal expenses, your personal event expenses, your children's school fees, your society, your personal electricity bill, all these should be totaled. Plus, you should have a contingency for medical expenses per month, say 5,000, 10,000, whatever. And that total is your total salary to be drawn by the owner. There is a great saying, since we are in Maharashtra, Shivaji Maharaj, everybody knows Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and his mother has said one statement that lakh military चालतील पण लाखांचा पोशिंदा जगला पाहिजे. So it is important that the entrepreneur survives. It's very important that you should survive. As an entrepreneur, you have to survive first. You have to take your salary first. Then you have to pay others. If you don't pay yourself first, then why you have started business? You not started business to pay others. As a social contribution, it is important. I understand that. But if you are not surviving, how will you contribute to society? So this is a vicious circle. But the calculation of salary is very simple. Your personal total expenses plus some contingency for yourself makes your total salary. For new entrepreneurs, it's required to make a business report from CA or on own. You can make it on your own. What CA can help you is to freeze the numbers. So make a project report or business report on your own. But what happens with the chartered accountant or people who are in business have handled so many businesses, so they can add some good value to it. So it is always better that, I mean, it is like asking question whether if there is something wrong with my body, whether I should treat myself or I should go to a doctor. So the advice is that you should go to a doctor.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
You mentioned that bank loans we should take, or certain amount. So why is that? And like many a times, especially like we have been referring to Maharashtrian entrepreneurs, we always have that mindset of "Arey loan nako re baba," or like who will face the bank and all that.
See, there are two things in this. One is fear of rejection is there. So when we go to bank, we go with this small heart. ये ना बोल देगा तो क्या करेंगे? What will do? You should go to your bank as a customer, as if you are going to some normal grocery store. और नॉर्मल if you go to a mobile store, आप ऐसे छोटा मुंह करके जाते हो कि बड़ा मुंह करके जाते हो? तो भले आप 2,000 रुपए का मोबाइल ले रहे हो, but you are going to a mobile store like a king. So why not to go to banker like a king? He is there to give you. And then there are three things in this. First is I have told you. Second is we don't document our conversation with bank. Whatever he says on our face, we come back with that and we say he is rejected. Draft a mail on immediate day. जिस दिन बैंक से वापस आते हैं उसका email ID लेके आओ, उसका कार्ड लेके आओ. Drop a mail to him that this was our discussion. Please tell me what documents you need, and submit him the documents online also, or submit the documents, get the acknowledgement, or submit all the soft copies and tell him if there is some defect in these documents, please let me know so that I can improve. The problem is we don't create documents. There are lots of entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs who do not file their returns. Lots of entrepreneurs. I can name. जब भी बैंक का loan, when they go for bank loan, they go for filing of returns of income. And generally they don't file proper return income. They will go to a chartered accountant, as I have discussed here also. They will go to a chartered accountant and they will say, "Ki, I want to pay tax. I don't want to pay tax more than this. So accordingly make my file." But 3 years down the line, when they want a loan, it is difficult. I have a client for him. We are showing a profit of around 75 lakhs every year. 75 lakhs का profit हम लोग लास्ट के 6 साल से दिखा रहे हैं. Just imagine the tax is paying. 70 lakhs का profit दिखा रहे. In December, he purchased a new house property of 6 crores and he got loan within 3 days. His loan was sanctioned in 3 days just because he was getting a good, we have very good track record of 70 lakhs profit per year. So there is no harm. If you pay tax, there is no harm. You are making money, you should pay tax. Because when you need a loan, that is the only source of loan. How bank will decide whether you will be, just because you say मेरा capacity है, bank will not believe you. You have to prove, and it is everywhere. Just because you say I have a capacity, nobody will believe you. You have to prove your capacity, and the only way to prove your capacity is file your returns regularly, show good income, show regular income, जो भी है. Now, how to change CA if we wish to change? This is a challenging question. I don't have an answer for this. But see, one thing you have to understand as a chartered accountant, which I generally tell people, that whatever passwords you have, GST passwords, or now this is nothing to do with cash flow, but GST password, income tax passwords, your other website passwords are your property. They are not property of chartered accountant. So if they are, if the mobile number registered is of chartered accountant, if the email ID is registered is of chartered accountant, immediately change that. See that the email and mobile number registered on all these websites is yours. You should always have your passwords. They're your property. Chartered accountant is a trustee of that. Your MCA passwords, all whatever you are doing online, all the passwords is your property. That is not property of chartered accountant. I have a clear-cut instruction to my office assistants. If somebody asks a password, give it immediately. Don't ask me. Give it immediately. Whatever he wants to do, he will do it. So as I see, it's not that he doesn't. Even I have lost some clients. ऐसा नहीं है कि you cannot satisfy everybody every time. So even I have lost clients, but I have clients who are with me for almost 16 years, 17 years. So there are good clients who are with me for almost 17, 18 years now. It is going to happen everywhere. So changing a chartered accountant is a very big decision. You need to understand what are your exact expectations from a chartered accountant, and accordingly you have to find out a new chartered accountant.
Sir, I have one more question. One is,
Please.
many a times people book losses, and if I understand correctly, if you are showing losses, most of the times your OD or a CC is not rolled. So there are certain challenges that you may face in the banking space. So then why people are booking losses?
See, it's not by booking losses you are, your OD is not rolled. They can roll the OD provided you are able to convince them upfront that when you start understanding that you're going to make losses, and if you have good security, then you should go and talk to banker. The problem is we book losses and then we go to banker after 6 months. Our accounts are finalized probably somewhere in the month of August or September. And then we go to banker and we say we have losses. But you have understood that you're going to make loss in March. So why can't we approach banker in month of March that this is our problem, this is the problem we have faced during this year. But next year, in next 6 months, we are going to make good. So you can roll on, or probably your limit might get reduced to some extent. It's a possibility. But bank can always support you for that. Bank will always give you, or bank will always support you in this situation if you are transparent with bankers. Further, if you have security with banker, bank should not deny. अगर आपने बैंक को security दे के रखा है, तो there is no question.
Yeah, I think there's one more question in the chat box.
Yeah, loans get rejected due to low CIBIL score. I think low CIBIL score is again a bad sign of banking transactions, that you are not repaid your loans, or your loan has become NPA, or you have defaulted your loans and all these things. So if you are really positive about future, take a loan at higher rate of interest or borrow it from your known sources where you can really repay. Try to settle it within 6 or 8 months. Your CIBIL gets stabilized, or 1 year your CIBIL will get stabilized, and then you can go for a loan from banker at lower rates. So many entrepreneurs are doing it. They are borrowing at higher rate from some uh, non-banking financial companies or something like that. I have some clients who have got good CIBIL, but the projects are like that banks are not ready to finance. So we have to go to NBFC at higher rate. We go to NBFC. When we reach a certain stage, we shift that loan from NBFC to normal banker. So it's not that only due to CIBIL score your loan will be rejected. So in CIBIL score, yes, you have to come to two step backward. You have to bear a little bit of burden, interest burden, fight back. As an entrepreneur, you have the capacity to fight back. Plan your business properly. One more advice which are not covered here is you should always take expert advice. Never take advice of the person who is not expert in that field. So if you are asking for again, I have given the same example of doctor. So if you have some bone problem, you will go to orthopedic. If you have some eye problem, you will go to some ophthalmologist. Likewise, you should always go to expert in that field. Don't decide on your own, because even for me, there are lots of financial planning. I'll give you a classic example. Financial planning is again a field which is many a times mixed with chartered accountancy. But I have my own financial planning advisors who are certified financial planners, and I don't advise any of my client on mutual fund shares or investments or insurance or term insurance, anything. I tell them this is not my area. Please go to a financial planner. He will calculate your risk. He will give you good advice. Though it's not that I cannot do it. I can do it with little bit of study. I can do that, but I will never be a super expert in that the way a certified financial planner is. So it is always better that you, and that always comes as a cost. This is a very good question. Should businessmen use a credit card? Yes, if you are confident of paying your credit card dues on time. Use credit for making points. So use credit card like a debit card. Simple. So if you spend 15,000 today on credit card, you have earned money. Make the 15,000 पेमेंट टुमारो. कल की कल वो 15,000 पेमेंट करके क्रेडिट कार्ड का ड्यूज क्लोज कर दीजिए. But the points which you will earn from your credit card, that will help you to either get petrol, और अभी तो फ्लाइट तो बंद है सब. But my one of my friends has got his Singapore US trip fee just because of card. And there are lots of clients who have done that, or lots of friends who have done that. They have planned their credit card points in such a way that is Singapore to US trip for him and his wife got free. He has to only pay for children. So to and fro trip में उसने उसका और wife का Singapore America trip free करवा दिया. So you can plan it. It's not difficult. Everything you have to plan upfront, and that is where you need a good advice. See, generally what happens is person who is selling you credit card will not tell you all the advantages or all these things. Go to a banker, ask them right things, ask them questions. They are there to answer you. The biggest problem of typically MSME entrepreneurs is we fear to ask questions, because we think that अगर मैं सवाल पूछूंगा तो बोलेगा क्या फूल है. It is your right to ask questions. It's your due, rather right say be, it's your duty to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, you will not be able to decide. If you're standing on a road, typically there are lots of people who will be going to Konkan probably, or because Konkan में ऐसा होता है. बाकी जगह पे highways पे बहुत सारे boards है. Konkan में if you go, there is a diversion. There are 3 roads. You're coming from one road, there is left, there is right, there is no board. So you wait there, you stand and you ask. If you don't ask, there are high chances that you will go wrong. So spend 5 minutes over there, wait for somebody, ask for right direction. There is no harm in that. If you're not able to decide today, that is fair. Decide tomorrow. There is no harm, but wait for right decision or wait for right advice. It's always better, especially in cash flow. If you want to spend good amount of money, it is always advisable that take a good advice upfront. I think time is up. We have already covered many topics, many questions.
Yes, sir. And if anybody has any topics, they can reach out to you. I think your number is there
Yeah, my number is
on
there, so
your
they can.
login name
So
also.
this is a WhatsApp number, so you can always connect me on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, how
Prashant sir,
can
you
we
want to
access
add
the
something?
presentation? I think somebody asked for presentation. I will share the PDF with you, so you can share it with your members across.
Definitely. Prashant sir, you want to say something or?
All I want to say is thank you very much, Tejas ji, for really an enlightening session on the cash flow. And I'm sure this will make SMEs, cash rich.
Yes,
At least that once that realization comes and going ahead, they implement your suggestions. It will really make it, building solid business for themselves.
yes. Realization is more important. It's always that your realization is important. Once you realize something, then you can at least think and decide. If you don't realize, probably you will never will be never able to decide.
Okay,
So just to conclude, I just generally give an example of about realization. It's a good word you used. That it's typically a Bhagavad Gita scene. That there is a war, there is a warfare, there is a war room, or there is a war thing, and Arjuna is confused and is asking Sri Krishna whether I should fight or not. And that is the right place of asking question. As I said, that he waited that as per discussions or that as per study, it's a 45-minute time. The Gita was told to Arjuna in just 45 minutes by Sri Krishna, but then it is elaborated by Maharshi Vyasa and everything. But he waited for 45 minutes just to start a war. So everything was done. Everybody was ready to fight a war, but he didn't start it till his confusion was clear, till he got the realization. This is a very good word you use. So make a realization, make your realization, and then decide and then act. Don't act before deciding and before realization. Thank you, Nilesh sir, and thank you, Prashant sir, for this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Diksha, can you propose a formal vote of thanks?
Yes. Sincerely thank you to Mr. Tejas Padya sir for a very informative and enlightening session. Thank you to our support partners, FSC Mumbai Chapter, Endrauto, NetProgram, and AIFPA. And thank you to all the participants for attending today's session. I declare the session as ended. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good day to all. Bye.
Yeah, bye.